Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday the 25th of May 2021 and I'm Ingrid, and as you know I'm trying to conceive baby number 6, and we've been on the journey for about 2 years now with losses and lots of trials and tribulations. Yeah, this journey is way super emotional this time, and you know, it shows you shouldn't take things for granted and count your blessings, because we have been trying a lot. We haven't been unsuccessful totally. As you know, Aaron and I have been on our prenatal vitamins, really up to date with our self-care. We have had in total now, I think 5 losses now, because we've had 2 miscarriages and I had my 3rd chemical pregnancy, which was a bit of a shit, on Saturday. So, by chemical pregnancies, not everyone in the medical field count it as a loss. TTCers will count it as a loss because it's very stressful. Chemical pregnancy means the seed has met the egg, there's been some fertilisation, however, the egg is either bad, the sperm is bad, or there's nothing for that egg to attach itself to. And usually all it means is that you get a very, very slight reading of HCG in your urine, and you normally are just a day or 2 late on your period. So it's not like you have a blazing positive and then you sort of a week later start bleeding with a miscarriage. It really is, you're just a couple of days late on your period and you get a very, very, very faint positive. That is the usual with a chemical. Some people in fertility clinics will count that as a loss because they know what you're going through, but until it's an actual fetus that attaches to, you know, implants and, you know, does its stuff, they won't count it as a miscarriage. It's a bit like the stupid law that counts, I think, a 26-week pregnancy as a miscarriage, which is, wow, we won't even go there today. But, you know, these laws have got to be changed. I think a chemical pregnancy is a loss. It's emotional, it's stressful. Okay, not everyone tests before their day of their period. I know that can be wrong, and I know it's a danger. Like my Instagram at Ingy Mum Love says, there's a danger of testing too early for a pregnancy. You should really wait till your period's due, and when it doesn't come, go and buy a pregnancy test. We know that, because then you should get a sort of a good idea of whether you're pregnant. But people like myself, it's not just because I'm desperate for a baby and I've been TTCing long and I've been there, done it with the pregnancies before. It's basically because I've got this progesterone waiting for me in a drawer. And the gynecologist said to me back in November, when she said, I reckon another 6 months you'll be pregnant. Within 6 months you should be pregnant. There should be a healthy egg there, because it takes 90 days to get that really optimum egg every time. And I'd had a chemical the end of October. So she said, give your body a month or 2 to adjust, get back to normal. And then 90 days after that, you should produce a really lovely, sumptuous egg, and let's hope it all happens. So she said, hopefully my phone will be ringing with you on the end in 6 months' time. And because I'd had 2 miscarriages at the gestation of 5 weeks to 6.5 weeks. My first miscarriage was just over 6 weeks, about 6 weeks, 5 days. My second miscarriage was about 5 weeks, 6 days. Because it was around that time, so basically I had a blazing positive and was over the moon for 2.5, 3 weeks, miscarried. The next time I was blazing positive for 2 weeks, miscarried. She said there could be a problem with my progesterone. Now we know progesterone dips just before your period starts. Progesterone goes sky high when your placenta forms and the egg implants, and that is why you know, when the egg all embeds. So that is why you need quite a high progesterone for your pregnancy to be successful. Again, sorry about the shaky car vlog, it's all I can manage today. I'll explain to you why in a minute, because I'm really super rushed around today. So yeah, I've got this, why I've got to test early, why I have to test in my head at least a day before my period's due, is because I want to get the progesterone started. Because she said, as soon as you get that blazing positive, start taking your vaginal suppository of progesterone, because that could be why you're miscarrying. And I'm willing to give you a month's course of that to start ASAP, and ring me within a week of your blazing positive, and we'll get you an early scan so that we can scan you. Because if I take progesterone and it's not a viable pregnancy, obviously she can advise me and the loss wouldn't be so detrimental on my health. meaning if I miscarried at 6 to 7 weeks, it hopefully would just be a very heavy bleed and not too strenuous on my body. Whereas if I carried on taking progesterone and didn't have my scan until 11 to 13 weeks like a normal pregnancy, you know, that could be a terrible, painful miscarriage. That could be really detrimental to my health. It could be emotionally awful anyway. But I mean, you know, you're talking all your hormones out of whack, your body out of whack. It'd probably take me a good 3 to 4 months to get over that miscarriage. I can't go there. So basically, a lovely gynecologist said to me she's willing to count my chemical pregnancy in October as a loss, even though it's normally miscarriages, they don't count as loss, and you've got to have at least 3 consecutive on the NHS in the UK for them to either scan your ovaries, prescribe you progesterone, go that little step further with them looking into it. If you've only had like 1 miscarriage, they say that's pretty normal. How awful that sounds. Lots of ladies have miscarriages without even knowing. That is chemicals. You know, when you cut the days late on your period and you're not a TTCer, like as in, when I say not a TTCer, I mean you're not a one that's nuts on here, testing all the time and completely obsessed. When you are just a couple of days late on your period and you have maybe a slightly heavier period than usual, that is usually something that's happened, probably. Now, not everyone's regular as damn it, like you can be a day or 2 different every cycle, we know that, but if you're say 3 or 4 days late on your period and it's a heavy bleed, that can be sometimes that your egg has fertilized but there's been nothing that for it to implant, or the egg's slightly duff quality, or the sperm wasn't quite optimum. That can happen, and that's why they say ladies can have miscarriages without even noticing sometimes, because we're not all fanatical pee on a stick addicts. So as you know, going back to the story, I had a chemical pregnancy. So how I know is because I started testing this cycle at 11 DPO. I had a blank test. I tested 8 and 9 DPO, tell a lie. I did a first response, it was blank as. I also tested, as you know from my vlog, 11 DPO and it was blank. And I think my last vlog to you guys was 12 DPO, and I'd been testing and got blanks. Well, 13 DPO, I decided to go and buy a first response, and I bought a pack of 2 25 MUI sensitive tests from the co-op. I peed on the co-op one, sat it to the side, had a quick glance. After 3 minutes it was blank, went back to it after 5 minutes, it was positive. My heart was jumping, absolutely jumping. I messaged a few of my YouTube TTCers as well to say, do they think it's a positive? They said yes, they do. I asked my friend Kate, who was having a coffee, look, I've got something to show you. I'm not getting too over the moon because I'm only like 2 days away from my period. What do you think? She said, well, there's definitely a pink line there. It's very faint, but there's something there. I said, yeah, that's what I think. So I put it in a drawer, and I thought, do you know what? I won't use my other first response yet. I'm just going to sit tight. The next day came 14 DPO. As you guys know, I normally come on 14 or 15 DPO. Rule of thumb is usually 14 DPO at night. I did the cheapie again. I dipped it, looked at it after 2 or 3 minutes, couldn't see anything. Went back to it after the alarm thing went. I had a thing on a timer on my phone. 5 minutes, looked at it, pink line. I was like, oh my God, there's something happening. I was so excited. It was weird. My taste buds were out of whack, and when I say that, it wasn't COVID signs, there wasn't no taste there or anything like that. It was like a metallic-y taste in my mouth. Don't often get that. I think I've only ever had that once in my pregnancy, but I was eating from a fork and I thought it tasted a bit metallic-y. What else? I felt very salivary, didn't have sensitive boobs, just thirsty, lots of CM. So I had quite a few symptoms, but I wrote them casually down just in case. And I know a lot of the time you can fall pregnant when you have 0 symptoms, but I had probably 4 or 5 symptoms and 2 faint positives. So at this stage, I'm really excited. This was all happening. So Wednesday was my first faint positive. Thursday, second faint positive. I was super excited. Friday, I thought I'm going to use my first response. There was a line there. It was very, very faint. It wasn't less faint than the last one. It was just a very faint line. I was really excited. And Oh, there's a bloody lorry coming. I'm gonna have to pause you a minute. Hang on. Hi guys, sorry about that. It was like a massive lorry. I had to do like such a manoeuvre. My mind is so much more on the road, and I am really into what I'm saying to you, but I just have to be so careful along here. I'm on my way to Jan's and it is so busy. Anyway, so yeah, 13 DPO faint, 14 DPO faint. But when I say faint, I didn't need a torch, didn't need to get it into a light. Yes, it took, instead of it says results within 2 minutes. Well, that's a complete lie, because I looked at it, I watched it for a couple of minutes and it was just still going across. 3 minutes it looked still wet, and 5 minutes it was like, oh my god, that's a line. And then 10 minutes, whoa-wee, it was there, blatant as, dried, but yes, it was there. So within the time frame it was a positive. So yeah, 13 and 14, brilliant. Went and I had 2 first responses. So I had my 2 first responses I bought with my boots points, 8 and 9 DPO. Completely a waste of time. Wished I never tested. I've never tested 8 and 9 DPO. Don't know why I did it. I was just really thinking, oh, you know, I could be pregnant. Super excited. And then I bought 2 more first responses because they were on offer in Superdrug, 2 for $8.99, and I had them. So I used 1 on 14 DPO, and there was a very, very faint line. You could see it. It didn't come up in the 5-minute time frame. It came up after 7 minutes. So you could argue and say, look, Ingrid, it says read results in 3 minutes. Don't read them after. But within 10 minutes is fine. I think reading a pregnancy test within 15 minutes is absolutely fine. Obviously, if you chuck it in a drawer and go back to it 4 or 5 hours later, yeah, there's a high chance it could be an evap line, but evap lines are usually grey or indented. They don't usually have dye running through them. So if you've got a pink line after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, there's a high chance it can be a positive. I know that. This was within like 10 minutes and it was pink. So 15 DPO. So Wednesday was 13 DPO, 14 DPO Thursday, 15 DPO was Friday. And that was the day my period was due. I was expecting to come on either Thursday night or Friday. Friday morning, I had a first response, 1 left. I did it, and I thought there's nothing there. Absolutely, I can hardly see anything. And then I did think to myself, yes, it looks lighter. Because do you remember I said I did 1 14 DPO and there was definitely a pink line within 10 minutes. However, the one that I did on 15 DPO definitely looked lighter. So I'd used by that point 4 first responses. So 8 and 9 DPO blank as, didn't pick up anything. Obviously the egg hadn't done anything by then. So yeah, my first response on 15 DPO, I couldn't see anything after 10 minutes. So I let it dry a bit longer, like 15 minutes, and went back to it and I could see a line. And I thought, well, okay, I've read it within 10 minutes, there's nothing really there. But 15 minutes, there's definitely something there. And I shone a light, my torch with my phone, and there was a line. And I thought, do you know what though? Let's look at the facts here. Yesterday I saw a line after 10 minutes and I didn't need a torch. Today there wasn't a line after 10 minutes, it was more 15 and I need a torch. That is not good news. It should be a little bit stronger, if not the same today, because HCG, once your egg's attached, HCG doubles every 48 hours. So there's a high chance when you do a pregnancy test that you'll get a faint line, and if you test the next day it'll be the same. So don't panic. If you've got a faint line and then you test again the next day, it's not going to be significantly more. It's just not. It may be if you're carrying twins, or, you know, it's a very, very slight, there's not much chance it's going to be much darker within 24 hours. It's every 48 hours it doubles. So I would have not been bothered if my 15 DPO test was the same, like I looked at it and thought that's faint, or darker. I'd have been chuffed. But it was nothing there, got to 15, 16 minutes, then I looked at it and thought there's something there. So I was pleased there was something there, but then concerning, because I'm thinking, shit, it's not darker than yesterday. And why I used my first response is I was just eager to start this progesterone. That was it. That was the only reason. Because normally I'd have thought, you know what, I'm due on today at the latest. Let's sit Friday out, test Saturday if I haven't come on. Anyway, so this line was there but lighter. So I text again a couple of YouTube TTCers that are seeing me through it. Paige, hi. Abigail, hi. Maggie, hi. They all said there's definitely a line. Maggie said to me, Ingrid, I think it's a chemical because it should be either darker or the same. I knew that. Abigail said there's definitely something there. I think you should take maybe one progesterone. Maggie said take a progesterone just in case. I agreed I should. Paige said, look, I didn't show till I was 16 DPO. She said I had the faintest squinter the day my period was due. The day after my period, could still hardly see it. It took 3-4 days after, and I've been there too. With my successful pregnancy in 2016, I peed on a stick the day before my period. You could hardly see anything. It was like the one on 15 DPO. It was like, is it there, isn't it there? Oh my God, I think there's a line, I'm not sure. Then the day my period was due, I went and bought them cheapy tests from Superdrug, and there was a very faint candy pink line. The next day it was a little bit darker. I didn't have a really good line until 17 DPO, and that, I mean, when I see a dark line, it was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Do you know what I mean? So I was holding hope in my heart, but I was thinking it's not good. I was just thinking it's not good. It's lighter than yesterday. I feel a bit different, like pregnant, but you know, there's something going on. Then I pulled the test apart, not recommended, but we all do it. And I pulled the first response apart and put it on a pregnancy checker app, which, you know, saturates the test and makes you see it a bit clearer. There was definitely a line, but it was fainter than the day before. I uploaded it to the baby site that they have on there to get opinions off other people. Now, the ones that I'd done before had come back like 45-50% say I'm pregnant. I had 50 people saying it's a positive, and then about 2 saying negative. Well, this one, it was like people saying no, that's a negative result, and it really upset me because it was just saying what I really knew deep down. So when I'd uploaded the test before, they were like all like, oh yeah, that's definitely a blazing positive, and it made me feel all happy. And then when it was when I uploaded my first responses, when I uploaded my first response to my cheapies on this baby site, this pregnancy checker, it was like, yeah, you're definitely pregnant. And I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. I had like 45 people saying positives. It's on an app, it's free. It's just called Pregnancy Checker, and you just like take a photo of your line and then you can saturate it. It's really good. Lucinda, who follows me, told me about it, and I got it about 6 months ago, and it is really good. It just makes your eyesight a bit better because it will show a line, either black and white, saturated, gamma. It gives you all different filters that you can put on it. And it's totally free, but also if you connect it to the site, if you upload your test, it'll just ask people's opinions. Do you think this is a positive test? So as I say, my 13-14 DPO tests, loads of people said yeah, positive, and the 15 DPO one, which I knew in my heart was a chemical and not happening, loads of people said no, and it was a bit of a blow. So Friday I was feeling shit. I only had one test left, and that was a monitor one. So I was thinking to myself, I'm going to save that for Saturday if I haven't come on. So Friday, I was a bit feeling upset. I was feeling a bit insecure, not reassured at all, thinking, why me? Why am chemical? Because I knew it was a chemical. I just knew it. But I stupidly thought, do you know what? I'm going to take a progesterone just in case, because that gynecologist did say a BFP take one, and I thought perhaps I should have taken it on 13 DPO. But I don't think with a chemical it would have made any difference. I think she's on about take a test on the day your period's due or the day after your period. If it's blazing, take a progesterone. But anyway, I took one. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I popped one up me and thought, if there's anything there, at least I'm giving it a 400 milligram boost. And if I get a positive tomorrow, I can start taking it normally. Anyway, didn't feel periody whatsoever. Got up Saturday to go to a football tournament, which was a 2.5 hour drive. Felt wet, wiped, nothing. It was just loads of CM, which is really unusual when I'm about to come on. I'm normally dry just before I come on. But I made sure I went to the toilet as well halfway on the drive. Took lots of bits with me just in case. You know, I put a big sanitary towel on, just thinking if I was at a football tournament and there was no loos, at least I had like a massive sanitary towel. Didn't put a tampon in case I was pregnant, and also I don't really like using those. And about 1 o'clock there was a loo. I thought, you know what, I'm feeling wet. If I'm wiping it CM, I'm going to do another test when I get home, because that morning, sorry, I did a monitor on my CLEARBLUE monitor and it said not pregnant. So I did think a light test 15 DPO, now 16 DPO, my monitor's saying no, this looks like it's just going to be a late period. And I didn't want to take too much progesterone because that will delay my cycle, because you need your progesterone to go down to start your period. Anyway, wiped at 1 o'clock, come on my period. It wasn't super clotty, it wasn't nothing untoward, it was a little bit darker, but I am dark red when I first come on. That isn't unusual for me. Yeah, wiped and it was there, so I gave myself a good wipe, had a sanitary towel on, so that was fine, and just changed my sanitary towel. And text a few of you people who follow me just to say, yeah, AF's here, I'll get back to you soon, because obviously I was feeling a bit shit, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me's thinking, oh my god, there's a chemical, so we know Aaron's sperm's there, we know my egg's there, we know something's happening. It's obviously now just a tweak of duff egg, duff sperm, duff lining. There's got to be something there. Anyway, medium to heavy flow through the day. Brought me on to Sunday, which again, heavy. And today I'm Tuesday and I'm just medium flow today. I've had like medium to heavy Saturday, heavy Sunday, Monday. Today, quite light, didn't bleed in the night very much at all. So there you go. That's the sort of flow I'm at. But what I was saying is, it didn't delay my period taking that 400 milligrams of progesterone. It wasn't enough to delay it. It was just a little boost if there was something there, which suggests probably my progesterone was quite low, because if it was at a normal level, I probably may have been a little bit later than 1 day. But yeah, a day late, chemical pregnancy. I just wanted to hop on here to give you a more detailed thing of what happened. I know that you guys who follow me on Instagram know that I had a chemical, wished me all the best, sent your baby dust. Thank you, it means the absolute world. Your support is lovely. You know, there's only a handful of my best friends that know that I'm trying for a baby, and obviously Aaron. And I don't tell Aaron about things like this, because Aaron sees a loss as a miscarriage. He would obviously throw his arms around me if he knew this had happened, but I just don't want to stress him out. And if I like say, oh, I had a chemical, he's going to start thinking alarm bells. Look, obviously God's sort of saying it's not meant to be and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to think it like that. I like to turn it into there's a chemical, so something's happening, and this baby is just waiting for me. But Aaron might think, Ingrid, come on, it's lots of stress on your body, the emotional side. And I don't want him to think that. I just would rather him know that I'm on my period, I was a day late, and I'm getting on with it. I've not even told him I was a day late. He just knows I'm on my period because all my sanitary products are right near the bathroom, in our room and downstairs. So he knows I'm on my period. And then obviously in a week's time, when I'm ready to try, I will be, you know, bombarding him with kindness, love, and everything it takes to make him feel happy and wanting a baby. So yes, I'm a bit gutted, but we can turn this into a positive. Something was there. I'm saying it's my third chemical, because I had a chemical obviously in October when I got my positive pregnancy tests and came on 16 DPO again. But remember, way back about a year ago, I did that Wilco's test at 11 DPO and it was a blazing positive, and then 12 DPO there was nothing, 13 DPO nothing. We still to this day don't know whether that was a chemical or a Duff pregnancy test, so I'm just saying 3 chemicals now. It could have been 2, but hey ho, 4 to 5 losses in 2 years. I'm turning them into there's something there. Do you know what I mean? Some people try 2 years and have absolutely zero, zilch, nothing, so they don't know whether the sperm's deficient, the egg's deficient. Some people are in an unfortunate position, can't afford multivitamins, and you know, and aren't as fortunate as myself to be able to afford things like the COQ10 that I'm buying and the DHA Vital. You know, all those vitamins do cost me a lot of money. So I'm very blessed, and I'm blessed that I've got 5 children. So I've got to look at the positives. I've got children. Aaron's willing to try for a bit longer. I've got vitamins at my side. My health, touch wood, at the moment is great. So I've just got to concentrate on all the positives. Going back to what Vashti said, my tarot card reader, she said fire sign. She said, I can see you pregnant in June. She's said that the last 2 readings. Thing is, if I put in my, say like if I ovulate up say day 14 to day 16, 17, it still brings it on to having a baby end of February, beginning of March, which is Piscean, which is a water sign. I thought it would bring it on to fire sign. But if I fall pregnant, say like if my fertile time's between the 3rd and the 10th of June, which I think it will be, that will make it a water sign, Piscean. It'll be between the 26th and beginning of March. She said at my reading, I see fire sign, a baby born after the 21st of March. She said 29th looks significant. I said, well, that is my mum's birthday. She said, oh, it might be just coming up because it's your mum's birthday. But she said, I see 29th of March significant. She said, but after the 21st of March, I see you having a fire sign baby. She said, dates and dynamics can change, but I definitely see a 6th baby. So the 6th baby's definitely there that she sees. Brilliant. I'm holding that in my heart. But then again, Jan did the crystal and saw a baby happening. I'm going to be pregnant. And she said it kept swinging madly for water. So again, that makes me think, I wonder if Jan's crystal's right. Do you know what I mean? I just don't know. I'm like, Jan's just turned up, bless her heart. She's going to be upset because her best friend's husband died and she can't go to the funeral. And she said, come to me a bit later today, darling, because I just want to watch the funeral car go in. He died in a car crash. Well, no, what happened was he had a fatal heart attack at the traffic lights down the road. So it wasn't a car crash, but it caused quite a lot of mayhem. Terrible, about 3 weeks ago, and he wasn't that old. So I'm going to give her a bit of time. But anyway, I said to her, let's cancel, but she didn't want to. And my 13-year-old's off school with a headache on the sofa. I just took her back a Costa hot chocolate and said, I'm going to be an hour. Do you want me to cancel? And she's like, no, Mum, I'm going to watch Netflix. Shall I give you 10 minutes? I'll be in a minute. Oh, bless her. Yeah, so